Good morning, class. Before we start, may I request someone to lead us a short prayer? Yes, Miss Catherine, please go ahead. Amen. Once again, good morning, class. Before we proceed, kindly turn on your cameras so that I can see your beautiful and handsome faces. Wow, you're all looking good and fresh. It seems that you're all excited and prepared for a lesson for today. So, how are you, class? I'm so glad to know that you're all doing fine. So in this class, I only have few rules that you need to follow. First is you need to log in on time so that we can start right away during our time. Second is you need to mute yourself except when you have the virtual floor. And third is you need to tap the hand button if you have questions or if you want to answer. And lastly is to listen carefully and respect everyone in the platform. Is that clear? Alright, very good. By the way, class, don't worry about your attendance because I on the attendance tracker so that I can trace who attend my class. One of you here still remember our last topic? Yes, Jive. Yes, it was all about sewing. So what is sewing? Yes, sewing is the craft or fastening or attaching object using stitches made with needles and threads. So very good. Let's give a virtual clap to Miss Jive. So class, before we proceed, let's have first a drill entitled Arrange Me. So I have here some jumbled letters and all you have to do is to arrange them. Are you ready? Number 1, what do you think is the answer? Yes, it's a needle. Number 2. Yes, it's a tailor's chalk. How about number 3? Yes, it's a compass. Number 4. Yes, it's a scissors. Number 5. How about number 5? Yes, it's a tape measure. Good thinking. Your answers are all correct. So this activity has something to do with our topic for today. So for your activity, since you have arranged the jumbled letters, now I want you to classify them into measuring tool, cutting tool, marking tool, drafting tool, or pinning tool. So number 1, you answered lately that the first jumbled letter is a needle. Where do you think it belongs? Yes, Jive. Yes, you guessed it right. Needle belongs to pinning tool. How about number 2, tailor's chalk? Yes, Rainier. Yes, you very good. Tailor's chalk belongs to marking tool. So number 3, how about compass? Yes, Vincent. Yes, you got it right. Compass belongs to drafting tool. How about scissors? Yes, Gerald. Good job, Gerald. Scissors belong to cutting tools. So, last one, how about tape measure? Yes, Rosefield. Very good. So, from the word measure, it's already clear that it belongs to measuring tool. So, let's give a virtual clap to everyone for a job well done. So, earlier, I let you arrange the jumbled letters and classify them. What can you infer from the given activities? Yes, Arvela. Good thinking, Arvela. So according to Arvela, from the given activities daw, it simply shows that there's a lot of tools we can use in sewing and each tool is classified according to their uses. So let's give a virtual clap to Arvela. Now let's proceed to our proper discussion. From the given activities, what do you think is our topic for today? Anyone from the class? Yes, Carol. Yes, our topic for today is all about classification of sewing tools and materials. So the objectives for this topic is at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify the different sewing tools and materials, classify each tool and material according to its function and use and describe the uses and functions of different sewing tools and equipment. So in sewing class, we use different kinds of tools and materials. So using the right tools on sewing can make your task easier. So let's now discuss the first classification of sewing tools, which is the measuring tools. So who can say something about measuring tools? Yes, Cesar. Very good. So according to Cesar, measuring tools are tools we use in measuring a length of a fabric and in taking body measurements. So let's give a virtual clap to Mr. Cesar. So there are different kinds of measuring tools used in sewing. So the first one is the tape measure. So it is the most common and one of the most used measuring tools in every tailor's sewing kit. It is usually used for measuring the breast, waist, hips, and many other clothing parts. So again, what is the use of tape measure? Yes, Sheni? Yes, very good. It is used to measure our breast, waist, hips, and many other clothing parts. So number 2, we have clear ruler. It measures and marks fabric pieces such as seams, quilting patterns, etc. without obscuring the design underneath. Number 3, we have meter stick. It is a long straight ruler used to measure long distances, check hems, and draw straight lines. Number 4, we also have seam gauge. It is a compact but helpful tool for measuring small distances. Examples of such tiny lengths included the spaces needed for buttonholes and buttonhole spacing, hem lines, tucks, and pleats. So number 5, we have French curve. It is a curve ruler that measures and marks curve patterns, seams, and hems. It is made of plastic or metal material and has various curves. It can be used to make changes, additions to curve sections, or even just precise curve cutting lines. So next we have tailor's L square. It is comprises of two rulers of different lengths connected to form an L shape, one with a short and long side. At their meeting place, they form a 90-degree right angle. It is beneficial for pattern measurement and reducing scaled measures of 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/10, and so on and so forth. So the last measuring tool is hip curve. It is used in connecting or shaping slightly curved points. It has a measure of inches at the front and centimeters at the back part. So again, what are those different kinds of measuring tools? First, we have, yes, tape measure, clear ruler, meter stick, seam gauge, French curve, tailor's L square, and hip curve. Very good. So let's now proceed to cutting tools. So what is cutting tools? Hannah, please read. Okay, thank you. So cutting tools are used in sewing to make precise cuts. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes depending on the task at hand. So first one we have number 1, we have bent-handled shears. It is suitable for cutting fabric because the blades rest flat on the cutting surface. Number 2, we have trimming scissors. It is a 6-inch long scissors used for trimming and clipping seams and for general use. Number 3, we have pinking shears. Cuts a zigzag edge and is used for finishing hem edges, seams, etc. It should not be used for cutting out a garment because it will not give an accurate cut line of the fabric. And the last one, we have seam ripper. It is a handy little tool for taking out seams and removing stitches. It must be used carefully so as not to cut the fabric. So again, what are those 4 different kinds of cutting tools? First, we have, yes, bent-handled shears, trimming scissors, pinking shears, and seam ripper. So now let's proceed to the next classification of sewing tools, which is the marking tools. So when we say marking tools class, it meant to transfer notations or designs for use while quilting or sewing. So the first one, we have tailor's chalk. So this chalk is thin, very easy to use, and convenient to hold, and is gone with a wet wipe or wash. Number 2, we have tracing wheel. It's a pizza cutter-like marking tool that makes small dots, and its wake. The tracing wheel creates a visible dotted line if used above the carbon paper. So number 3, we have chalk pencils. So it is much better than triangle-shaped tailor's chalk. Buy chalk pencils with a little wax in it. It doesn't come off easily with a regular chalk, but goes off completely when washed. So the 3 are the different kinds of marking tools. So let's now proceed to drafting tools. So what is drafting tools, by the way? So drafting tools are used for making paper patterns. This is the second stage of pattern making. Using the measurements taken, drafting is carried out according to the design of a garment. So first kind of drafting tools, we have pattern paper. It is used to sew beautiful and accurate drawings or patterns in your fabric. You need pattern papers to shift the markings into the fabric. To make these patterns, there are dedicated pattern making paper with a translucency feature to make tracing easier. So number 2, we have a compass. It is the mostly used for making curves or circular patterns in the fabric or for umbrella cloth. So actually class, there's a lot of drafting tools we can use in sewing, but those 2 are the most commonly used drafting tools. So let's now proceed to the last classification of sewing tools, which is the pinning tools. So first one, we have needles. It comes in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. Small needles are used on light and soft material, while big needles are for rough, thick, and heavy materials. Needles are used for basting, sewing buttons on, and when mending torn clothes. So number 2, we have pins. We use this one when cutting and sewing material. Helps save time in basting. Dull-pointed and rusted pins should not be used because they will destroy the fabric. So the third one, we have pin cushion. It is a cotton stuff cloth cut and sewn in many different shapes to keep the pins in place. It will help you work conveniently when placed on your waist. So it looks like a tomato. So number 4, we have a thimble. It is made of either plastic or metal material, which is used to protect the finger from being pricked by the needle when sewing. A fitted thimble will help you sew comfortably, especially when you are not used in sewing with a thimble on your finger. The last one, we have a Mary bag. It is used for thrusting needles and pins. They sharpen the needles and removes rust. So that ends our discussion. So from our discussion, what do you think is the importance of using the right tool in sewing? Yes, Princess. Very good. So using the right tools in sewing will ensure that your fabric is handled properly, reducing the risk of damage and resulting in a polished finished product. So, any questions? If none, let's have another activity. So for your next activity, I need 2 representatives, 1 male and 1 female. Okay. Brian and Mary Joy. So for you, Brian, what do you think are the measuring tools used in making the t-shirt you wear? Tape measure, French curve, and meter stick. Okay. How about you, Marjoy? What do you think are the measuring tools used in making your skirts? Alright, same. Tape measure, hip curve, and meter stick. Very good. So let's give a virtual clap for the two of them. So now let's have a recap. Again, what are those classification of sewing tools? So yes, the 5 classification of sewing tools are measuring tool, cutting tool, marking tool, drafting tool, and pinning tool. So who can give me an example of drafting tools? Yes, Cesar. Yes, we have pattern paper, compass, and tracing wheel. Who can give me an example of cutting tools? At least 2. Yes, very good. Pinking, shears, and seam ripper. So I guess you're all ready for next activity. So please click the link in the chat window. I'll give you 2 minutes to answer. Are you done? Okay, let's see who got a perfect score. Wow, all of you got a perfect score. Give yourself a virtual clap for a job well done. So for your assignment class, I want you to study in advance the parts of sewing machine and its functions for a smooth discussion next meeting. So that would be all, class. Thank you for your active participation. You may now leave the platform.